Okay, Reggie. Before we get started, normally I would ask you if you had anything that you wanted to speak on or talk about, but before we get into this week's questions, I wanted to address obviously Suge's latest podcast. He posted a photo of me and accused me of being racist because he says that I'm responsible for tweets going up that pin black men against each other. I just wanted to address that real quick. He knows who has his Twitter. He knows who posts on his Twitter. And his girlfriend, who's also the executive producer of the podcast, knows exactly who has his Twitter and who's posting on it and has been in contact with that person. So I don't know why I'm being used as a scapegoat in this situation, but he knows, just like she knows, who has his Twitter. Now, because you and Reggie's relationship is weird and you want to put it on me, that's fine. He also said that I'm an internet nerd, which is fine because I did internet things for his company for 8 years. But he did say that I don't know him and he doesn't know me, and which is puzzling to me because, like I said, I did work for him for 8 years, and if I didn't, then how do I know Cedric? How do I know Dogman or Roy or Rocky or Papa G or Tina or Candy or Spider, Corrupt, Crooked Eye, Realist, all these people that I still have relationships with that I formed while I was working there. But I do know that Suge has a history of downplaying everybody. So if you want to downplay my tiny role that I did for your company, that's fine. Just like you say, Reggie was just security, when I know for a fact that he ran the company because he was the one that hired me, and everything that I ever did on that website, whether it was talking with Roy or talking with Cedric, had to go through Reggie to get approved. But I find it unfortunate because I've always spoken highly of Suge. I've never had really anything bad to say about him, and I've always been appreciative of the opportunity that he gave me. So I hope that whoever, because I know he won't hear this, but I hope whoever feeds him information will let him know that the statements that he made are super inaccurate and not factual. And hopefully, he will come to terms with the fact that everyone knows who has his Twitter in his camp, and they've been in contact with that person. So if they want to, talk about it, they can talk about it with the person that has it, but leave me out of it. Reggie, before we get into questions, is there anything that you want to speak on or talk about, or you want
Well,
to get right into the
I'll
questions?
just address it. There is a clip with Suge. It's been up on Bomb First for over 11 to 12 years that I'd like for you to play.
Yeah, the Suge Knight. Twitter.com, Suge Knight, anything else will get defeated.
To show you that he have given permission to Bomb First to authorize to use that stuff at one point, and he has been informed, and his appropriate associates has been informed what needs to be done if he wants it to stop, because the instructions that he gave was don't turn it over to nobody unless you hear from me directly, and that's what's been being abided by. He thinks there's money been generated off that. If y'all read the rules and seeing what you have to do for money to be abide or to be made on those channels or those social media platforms, y'all see that they have not qualified for that yet. And so, Suge, you've been taking the high road with me, so it's kind of hard for me to say anything because I appreciate that you elected not to speak on my name. Most of y'all think it's because he don't want to F with you at all. That's why he don't speak on your name. Well, whatever. Okay. But no, that's how people that has relationships that grew up with each other deals with each other, where they don't speak on each other's name and they remain silent and I'm trying to learn to take that role with him. And until he says something about me and mention the name Reggie, then I'm going to stay quiet. If anybody wondering why I haven't said anything, but it's unfortunate that you're electing to take it to social media when you know about 10 people that speaks to Reggie daily that you can get in contact with, and you know how to get in contact with me. But I'll leave it there. Ball's in your court. Have a blessed day.
That's a good point too, because I should clarify that in 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, I did create the Twitter and Facebook accounts for Suge at his request and got him verified. And to your point, Reggie, we put out a video announcing that he now had these accounts. So, to act like they were hacked or something of that nature is kind of ludicrous to me. I should note, and Suge knows this, I've written him probably 3 times over the last 10 or 12 years. The last time was when you were in the hospital sick. I wrote him to let him know about that, and also let him know that I was going to delete the social media accounts, and that I didn't think he had a use for them. And, if he wanted otherwise, then to let me know. And I gave him my contact information. Never heard anything. So I was going to actually delete that account when I was told, give it to me. I'll hold it for him in case he ever wants it. And that was that. But to act like something was hacked or taken from him without his knowledge is not accurate, because I did write him and gave him the opportunity to say, no, don't do that, or give it to me, or give it to this person. So, but yeah, we can move on.
They know how to proceed. They've been informed how to proceed from here. So if they want to deal with this over social media, this is what I do. But if they want to deal with it privately, how I like to deal with Suge, because of our relationship in the past, we can deal with it privately. But the ball's in your court, dog. Don't ever, ever take respect and love for fear. I'm sure you know that by now. Peace, bumpers.
All right, Reggie. So we're about 11 or 12 episodes into Suge's podcast. I don't know what your feelings are as far as if you're entertained by them, if you think they lack or anything. So I know they listen to us over there, so I wanted to see if you had any ideas on topics or segments that they could cover or that would be beneficial to cover in their podcast.
Well, and it's hard for me to be critical of his podcast because they are doing great and good numbers. And I understand the position he's in. He has to be a little bit more tamed or not as wild or say things. And because of his age and his growth. I don't know him. I haven't been around him in the last 10 years to 12 years. So maybe he has changed. I don't believe it because I catch a lot of the jabs that he still throws. But I understand the position he in. He can't be as wilding out as Reggie B in 2024 and as Suge, because I'm trained by Suge. I'll tell everybody that. And as wild as we were in the mid-90s and the 2000s. So I get it. Understand it. However, Suge Knight, I fell asleep on your podcast. I fell asleep halfway during it, but I knew I had to listen to it because everybody was telling me that you tapped their John at the end. So I stayed tuned. And I know a lot of people, y'all saying, oh, no, well, that's because you like childish and crazy stuff. So, yeah, you're right. But I understand how the social media stuff works. Love what he's saying. He bringing out stuff where it's obvious. One of the young ladies that I know that he speaks to often is very educated. She's a USC graduate. So I know She, putting a lot of that smart stuff in his head when they're talking and communicating with each other. Because as a smart person that Suge is, that's what he do. You talk to different people and you get their input. So I love what he said on the previous episodes when he brought out the point about the actresses and the British people and all of that. I think he brought up some good positive points. This one with the Oprah comparison with the Color Purple show. I love what he said about that, about Fantasia. I don't think he realized that Fantasia had been doing the play for a while, and that's probably why Oprah showed some loyalty to her. And Silly in the Color Purple wasn't an attractive person, but okay, I get it. And so maybe that's why Fantasia got the job. Because we all know how Whoopi looked in the original show. But sure, if you want any advice from your boy Reg before the show go down, because you're dealing with an educated young lady and you're dealing with a guy from the East Coast that's trying to be politically correct and who's a white boy trying to be black, man, Dave Mace, who I'm not one to say that just because you're white, you can't be a part of hip hop and all of that. How Dr. Umar and them trying to put out there, because my whole thing is Michael Jordan didn't create basketball, but we still call him the GOAT, right? But I'll get back on track. I know I went off track. Well, my point is, just because you're a white person, Mexican or whatever, don't mean you can't be part of hip-hop or the best in hip-hop. That's just a crazy standard that people have been debating lately. But Dave Mace is got to watch what he's doing, sure, and he's not going to address a lot of the things that needs to be addressed that people really want to hear from you, as well as these great, points that you've been making. But people want to hear, these are the things that they want to hear, so you never say you didn't know, because I know somebody's going to tell you. Man, we want to hear about one, Puffy, that incident with Big Jake. You got people out there that saying, you walked in, slapped Jermaine Dupri, and slapped Puffy is the reason why they did what they did to Big Jake. I never heard that version. I heard you say after the shooting, you grabbed Puff by the neck and blamed them for it. But the way these guys out there putting it out there, it's like you just walking in there in Atlanta, slapping people, and you the reason that you created. You need to address that in your own words, not Reggie words, not other people's words. You got Puffy ex-bodyguard talking about he seen you and Tupac at the House of Blues with Puffy and them. And Puffy and them and some of their people going to go and ask you, do we got any problems out here? After Big J got shot and killed. After Tupac and them, not Tupac, after Snoop and them trailer got shot up. And you going to say, no, we ain't got no problems out here. You need to address stuff like that. We got people talking about you was just Tupac's manager. He was never signed to Death Row. We need to talk about that, dawg. We got so many stories out there that need to be addressed. We got a dude out there telling that you and Buntry got knocked out by Bruce Richardson at the Fridays before the incident that happened at the World when you got in the middle and got 6ix9ine and them all of that trouble with the dude. They talking about another incident where you and Buntry got knocked out. It's stuff like that that people want to hear about, want you to address. They tired of hearing the second hand or third hand from Reggie and other people. There's stuff like that that needs to be addressed. I know a delicate situation for you being in the situation that you're in. But now that you got this platform, this from a dude that you used to have talked to and run stuff by back in the mid-90s and the early 2000s, I'm just saying, man, this is why I've got beef. We got a dude from Bunny Hunters talking about you was shook up. And you had all those that you had, that crew that you had with you in the Bunny Hunters. And they punked you for money, $500,000 to be exact, and made you give up $500,000 because they took you in the bathroom. And you might have went in the restroom, but the nigga I know, the Suge Knight I know, wasn't scared, especially with the niggas that was outside that bathroom with you from the mob, Ludus Park area. Man, situations like that needs to be discussed, that you need to bring up. That's why Reg out here arguing with Duke, taking on beef, because I'm like, no, y'all not going to say that about my nigga. I know this stuff ain't happening. Not with the shit that I know. So y'all not going to try to make him look soft because he locked down. But that's the stuff we want to hear from you, Suge. On top of this game you giving us. I'm not trying to clear up your 58-year-old man a way of talking and all of that. And a man that's trying to get out on an early release. I'm for all of that too. But throw those in. You throw other jabs in. You throw your other jabs in. So, dawg, that's all Reg wants you to do. That's the only reason Reg is like, nigga, you need to talk to your boy. There's stuff that's out there that needs to be cleared up. John, I'm sure there's some other incidents that I done forgot about. Oh, definitely. That lie you got. You called Reg and told Reg to send 5 securities after the incident at the MGM. Oh, yeah, you definitely need to clear that up. Because if I'm being that disrespectful and you're going to double down on that, then why you leave me in the position that I had later on? Tell them why you did that. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff, bro, that Reg can sit up, and I'm just talking off the top of my head, that Reg wants you just to clear up, touch on. You ain't got to just do an episode on those things. But those things that people that's really around here, that this YouTube channel, that your big supporters, the 5 different channels that they discuss and talk about daily. Tell it in your words. They got people thinking that you just robbing people. They don't even understand the game, you know, of the royalties and stuff. How you overpaid all of these people. How you were, you know, why people saying that cars and stuff was in your name. No, it was in Death Row name. He was leasing cars because that's what people were doing. That was the new things in the mid-90s. Leasing penthouses, leasing cars and stuff. Why? Because after 3 or 4 years, you don't want them no more. But they wasn't in Suge Knight's name. Tell them that. That was in your company's name that had the credit and all of that, the ability to go get these cars for these people. Stuff like that is you need to put in your own words and then explain to people. Because that's why the people that don't like you, and it's very few, I admit it, but that don't like you is because they think you ripped Tupac off and your artist off, which is so far from the truth, Suge, and you know it. But you need to address these things, though. That's all Reg wants you to do. That's the only reason Reg's trying to talk to you or try to get word to you to tell you what needs to be talked about and addressed. Because they're not going to address those things. They haven't been the last 7 years on this YouTube listening to this stuff like that. They've been having other things. I get it. I got it. But I have. And trust me, people will tell you those are things that they need to hear and be addressed. Explain to them the breakdown of how you got Tupac out of jail, out of prison, and what was y'all deal. Explain to them how you was having them all set up companies, record labels, because you was tired of taking care of everybody. And you was like, okay, You have Machiavelli Records. You have Doghouse Records. You have Hammer Time Records. You have Death Row East. That big project, Death Row East. Everybody seemed to think that that was Tupac's thing. That was something that you were going to do with Tupac. Explain it. I ain't going to tell you how to explain it. You know how to say it. You know, the incident at Nas, with Nas at the park. Tell what happened. You were sitting right there. You were there. And what Pac said, you got Snoop out there telling people that, man, like this was getting checked. And Nas and them could have did this and did that. It wasn't that type of party. Sure, there's things that needs to be addressed in your own words. That's all your boy Red just trying to tell you. All of this stuff you're saying on your podcast, it's cool. It's cool. It's good knowledge. I love listening to you talk. I catch game from you every time I listen to you talk. So, but I bet you your numbers are triple if you start addressing some of those things on your episodes. So, that's all your boy. That's all the advice I got to give you. Take it where you want.
One thing I would really love to hear him talk about, Reggie, is people saying Tupac was going to leave Death Row because, as ironic as it is, his co-host posted on his Instagram in 2021 a girl named Wendy Day or something saying that she was going to help Tupac leave Death Row and start euthanasia and all this stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I would love to hear him talk about.
Exactly. And in fairness to Dave Mays, ask him that question, do we believe that or not? Because just because people say so, I'll say so for a while first. That John don't always agree with and all of that. And so find out his opinion. Find out his belief on that. But Dave Mays do have that out there. He do still have it up on Break Media channel. Matter of fact, it's on your Twitter. For those of y'all who want to hear it. But anyway, those are the type of things that needs to be addressed, and that's all. And there's many more. There's many more. I just spitted them off the top of my head. But it's all my advice. But other than that, man, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm not trying to say you need to do it like this because Wack100 is doing it like this at all. No, we're not in the position to do that. We get just the same amount of numbers that y'all get doing them. And when you add them all up each month, which ultimately matter, we all making the same. We all getting our 3 million views or whatever a month. So we good. But this piece of advice.
One thing, Reggie, that I think maybe we should talk about, or at least just throw out there, we don't have to talk about it, but there was a time before Suge got with Dave Mays to do his podcast that I was in negotiations to do a podcast with Suge. And I decided not to do it because of the structure in which they wanted to be paid. Just to be candid with our audience, I wanted to do pay half, do a certain amount of episodes, give the second half, and then we do the second half of episodes. But they wanted to do it all up front. But I say all that to say that I think Dave Mays is doing, as much as I give him negative feedback and stuff like that, I do think his editing is great. I think, like you've said before, the AI avatar that he did for Suge was a genius idea. I would have never thought of that. So I'm glad that he's doing it, who he's doing it with. I just wish, and I guess that's why I'm so critical of Dave Mays, is because I know topics that people want to hear that are big into the Death Row and Tupac community. And so maybe that's where some of my frustrations come from. But to your point, there are a lot of false information, false stories, or things that put Suge in a bad light that have been on DVDs or TV shows or online for years and years that he could very easily address. I just don't know if he's aware of them to address them.
That's all my point. And I agree with that. I just think that people have their agendas, just like we have our agenda that we want covered. And I just want him to hear it out, to think about it, to consider it. And that's it. But we got to remember, and I will be the first to say it, I understand when you, under the scrutiny that you have, I understand how people you alluded to in previous episodes on your podcast, calling up there trying to get you shut down. So I understand you got to watch it and watch what you say, and you might have to be a little PG versus maybe R. And then I understand you have kids that are older, and you probably would have a different way of thinking now. So I get all the things that you're facing, bro. Trust me, I do. Yeah. Peace.
Okay. Speaking on Suge's podcast in the last couple segments, Reggie, one thing he talked about, not in the latest episode, but in the episode before that, is he kind of challenged Snoop to show him the check if Snoop actually owns Death Row Records. And, that's something that you've said a little bit, you've alluded to about Snoop not being the actual owner. I wanted to get your thoughts and your opinion on Suge asking Snoop to show him proof that Snoop owns Death Row.
Yeah. Well, if y'all been listening to Reg and Bomb First, y'all know I've been telling y'all Snoop deal is where he's an employee and he's in charge. He owns the brand Death Row, where he can go out and do merchandising and stuff like that. He may even own the name where he can put new artists out under that label. But any of that previous done music and the catalog and all of that, he is not the complete owner of those things. Nowhere near the percentage that you guys think it is. That catalog is still today value. Y'all just saw what Michael Jackson catalog sold for $1.2 billion. Y'all go look up what Snoop worth. It's only $150 million if he's worth that. And that's just people throwing out numbers. If he had the complete ownership of the label, or of all of that music and the masters and the publishing and all of that, his value would be a lot higher. I know it's a little bit too deep. I know I'm coming off like a hater, so I'll leave it there. But y'all know I've been saying that Snoop is not the owner. That's owned by a hedge fund, and they are employees to run that. Now, he do have a lot of control and say so over there. And so I get that. I believe that. I know that. But as far as the owner, like we all think, like Suge Knight owned it, and Dre owned it, and then later on Suge by himself, he does not have that type of ownership of the masters and the recordings. So I double down for Suge again and say, hey, shut him up. Show the check. Show the check. And I'll shut up. But I just want my Simon Says money that you and Daz keep saying y'all got worked out, and now Daz claiming that it isn't true. Big Simon Says Music Publishing, y'all got the letters. If you say you don't got the letters, I'll have it posted right now. You got the letter. Universal got the letters. Pay me my motherfucking money.
Okay. On our last round of interviews, Reggie, we talked about Wack100 saying that he had a Nipsey tape, and also that he had footage or a FaceTime call from Big U before Nipsey passed away, and that he was going to produce one of those or both of those or something by a certain date. I believe that date has come and gone. I just wanted to know if you had heard anything else, or if you were surprised, or if you still think stuff is coming. And just wanted to get your thoughts on that whole situation.
As I remember, and I did say some things wrong in that particular interview, where I put out that Wack has always said he was going to protect that tape of Nipsey. He said, but now if you got some money and you want to call him a liar, then he will produce that tape. But he did not ever say that he was going to put that tape out on the 14th as I reported. What he said was going to come out, and I don't know if it did or didn't, because I think it, from what I've been hearing, it was something on a show that you have to subscribe to go and watch and see it. Supposed to be a FaceTime of Big U saying that Nipsey was dead and had been killed by Cuz before, 30 minutes before it actually happened. Is what I've been educated that was what was supposed to have been posted or released. I don't know if it has or have been released. I know the internet would have been blowing up if it had been released or even on that paid subscription channel. So I don't know what's up. I don't know if they are abiding by the cease and desist letter that was supposedly posted. But hey, I'm telling y'all, that situation is getting too deep. It's going to get very deep. And Reggie Wright, Fat Bud, getting out of it. I'm getting out of that loose cannon, Wack100, Big U, 60, Crips, 600. All of that fiasco has nothing to do with me. Know nothing about it. And all I do is say, wish my boy Wack100 got his back no matter what. He know I ain't in the business right now, no getting out there in the streets and being in there with him. But if whatever he needs, I'm there for him. But I wish he would move on from that situation, because that exposure, and it's unfortunate. That was something in the 90s me and Suge wanted to do, what he's doing now. And I didn't realize how dangerous it was. Me and Suge would sit up in that prison and we used to talk, and our idea was to do something, a magazine called Rats, because, magazines was big then, where we were going to have everybody from the penitentiaries sending in all these gangsters from their neighborhood that did snitching and stuff and send the paperwork. And we wanted to call it, I forget the name of it, Rats and stuff like that, and exposure. I'm so glad we didn't do it, because I see the amount of pressure that Wack and his clubhouse and his crew and his team, man, I can imagine the security cautions they have to tape, even going up there at Adam 22 studio. I wish my friend get in another line, but I'm sure, just like as I talk shit about people wish I get in another line of YouTubing. I wish like hell Wack would leave that subject alone. But like he always tell me, ain't no man gonna tell me how to do or move like I want to move. And I gotta respect it. Oh man, but lately, in the coming weeks, if somebody keep talking to us, talking about, I'm about to make Wack credibility go up 100% with y'all. Got some audio. I do have some audio on a lot of things why y'all hate Wack100. As y'all gonna see where he been getting that from. Whoa. Stand by. Peace.
All right. We had talked about how it looked like Daz had stopped his podcast because it wasn't like a consistent upload. I think he'd gone a couple weeks without doing it, but he did pop back up with a new episode and said that he made a public apology to Snoop, said that they had talked and everything was good and they were back on track and he was going to, come out with music on Death Row now and stuff like that. I just wanted to see if you saw that podcast and what your thoughts were in regards to his relationship with Snoop.
Y'all act like y'all surprised. Y'all act like y'all surprised, man. Shit, that's Daz. Daz is on medication, y'all. Daz is crazy, y'all. And I tell you, but I like Daz. I really have an affection for Daz. But man, Daz been doing this. Him and Snoop go back and forth every 4 or 5 months. And you know what happens is whenever he's about to do a show, they make up with each other. Most of y'all don't know they went out and did a show at Gandhi Arena or out there in Cleveland or Detroit. I think it might have been Detroit, where the guy that owned the Cleveland Cavaliers brought all his employees. He also owned a bank. I forget the name of the bank. And he had Snoop and them go and perform. And so right before he did that, his Daz, I don't know if Daz went or not, but they got some shows coming up where they did a private event for, for the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Can't think of his name right now. He's the one that had the son that just passed away. Rest in peace to his son, the one that was a big LeBron James fan. But, man, that's Daz. I mean, they gonna go back and forth. He said he gonna wait it out, and that's what I alluded to earlier in some episodes where I was trying to say, why I'm mad now because, Daz is claiming that Snoop riding with him now and believing that the paperwork was fraudulent or he gonna start getting paid his publishing money and all of that. Telling them they better not pay out any money on Big Simon Says or Simon Says Music, because if you do, you're gonna be double paying because y'all got the letters. All of y'all got the letters now, and y'all better start putting your heads together how y'all gonna pay it. But that don't surprise me at all with Daz and Snoop. Hey, number one, they're blood relatives. Number two, he knows Daz needs medical, psychological, and emotional, and he take pills and stuff. That's why he smokes so much weed. Usually the weed control it, but sometimes you can need that medication as well. And so that's all that's going on between Daz and Snoop, and hey, family business, right? And they need each other. And Daz a good hype man. He's cheap, Like he said, YouTube don't make no money, and he gonna let Reggie Wright keep talking on YouTube because it don't pay much. Well, it pays all right. But it pays more than $500 an episode, and that's all you get for going to a show from Snoop is $500. And if you get more, show a check. Show that you get more than that. Get somebody else to verify that y'all make more than that. Snoop don't pay y'all $500 a show. So, yeah. I do this 2 hours every other Sunday. We post one episode. It do what it do, $500. So you have to do 7 of them. 7 of them. So then you get your $3,500. All right, Daz. I'll stall you out because I know you didn't tap at me that hard. But keep going. Daz, I told you what to do, man. You can teach people, man. Only thing you have to do, show people how to play the drum machine. Get Superfly. Now, Superfly ain't with you no more, huh? Get somebody to come in and show them how to play the keys. Because I know you can't play no keys. But you can tell people what to do. Give training lessons, Daz. And then apologize to people for ripping them off on no Machiavelli CDs that you promised them and you had them sending you hundreds and $500. You remember that? You remember when you was conning people, Daz? Make that right with people. Do something for the people that you beat out of the money. And you'll be back, all right, Daz. You can do it, Daz. Peace.
All right, Reggie. I was browsing YouTube the other day, and this video is a little old that I saw. It's about 3 weeks old, but I just discovered it. And and I don't know if you saw it because I don't think I sent it to you, but were you aware that FG went on Gangster Chronicles and talked to Norm and them? Did you see that? And do you have any thoughts?
What? I did see. Somebody sent me that. I saw it. I saw it. Didn't watch it all, but I remember seeing it because somebody sent it to me, and I said, "Dude, that got on a onesie." I saw Norm. I saw Norm in it, and I know ever since I tapped at his wardrobe when I called him a big old clown and stuff, I noticed he's been stepping up his game. But don't that look like that guy? Man, John, you better post this picture. Don't it look like he's wearing a onesie? Oh man, I then fell out of my wheelchair when I saw that. But anyway, shout out Dor. I said I was gonna lay off you, but I saw that he was talking to FG, and I was like, this getting in the middle of that shit and trying to. I said, did he trying to get FG? But FG's a cool dude. See, that's one thing about FG, and I like about FG. That's why it was hard for me to get involved in that FG James situation because they both were there to defend themselves. And that's why it feels like I didn't have James back like I normally would or I should. Because you got to remember, I've been knowing James for over 50 years. And I only known of FG for maybe about 20 years of the 50 years. And didn't really have a major relationship with FG. But I know FG. Been in this, we've been in the same elements or area or circles before. But I like FG, and but I think they playing a dirty game. I hope FG be smart enough, because I realized something that went down with him and Alex and Street Team, because they not doing shows together anymore, because they were doing good things. They had a good thing going, but they stopped. But it seemed like Norm was trying to persuade FG to come on board and take James' spot. Wouldn't that be a slap in the face? Now, they can't afford it. I saw MCA. If you look at his body language on that show, he hated. He hated even being there and being talking about it. So I can tell you that's about to go downhill real quick. But it looks like he's trying to reel FG in over there to take James' place. And I think that might make James go from back to Mob James if they do that, because that would be a major slap in the face. And I hope that's not what's about to go down. But y'all knew how Reggie see things and pick up on things. And it looks like that's what Norm play is. I think FG's smart enough, and he won't get involved with that like that. And he not, because FG might hurt Norm, because somebody's going to eventually hurt Norm, because he don't play fair with the money and the business. And y'all be seeing real soon. If they haven't lost their deal, they got to be about to lose their deal. Because if y'all keeping it real, when was the last time one of y'all went and watched Gangster Chronicles? Keep it real. Matter of fact, I'm going to do some breaking news right now. Should I? No, I ain't. But keep an eye out with James and we got something working, since John didn't have enough time for Still Bombing podcast, where me and James might be doing something in the near future on another platform. But I'm going to always be a bomb first until John gets rid of me. But there may be something brewing over there. But it sure does appear that Norm is trying to get FG over there, and that might get James balling. I can't wait till he see this so I can break it up and tell him. But the only reason I talk about Shrek, and no disrespect to Norm, I shouldn't even say that because he haven't said nothing about me particular. He just say the other channel or the other people, throw his little jabs. I ain't never seen a that big in a onesie. Peace bomb first.
Snoop and Dre came out with a video that is advertising the launch of a new drink called Gin and Juice. I know it's been rumored that they have an album coming out, so I think a lot of people thought that's what this was until they got to the end of the video and saw it was an ad for a drink. But I wanted to get your thoughts on them going into business and using that Gin and Juice name, which became, I know it's been a drink forever, but I'm saying it became synonymous with Snoop through the single off his Doggy Style album.
Yeah, great marketing. Great marketing. It's hard for me to hate on Dre. It's hard. You look stupid hating on Dre. Love what Suge said, man. I tell y'all, me and John did an episode about that when it first happened. I think we called it the Ike Award or something like that. The Ike and Tina Turner Award. But man, I tell y'all, me and Suge thinks alike. Y'all remember when I did that one last year when Dre first, they nominated that award and I called it the Ike Turner Award or something like that, and how any females would want to win that award and all of that. And then Suge, and I know he didn't hear that because that episode was done over a year ago, came back in this podcast recently and pretty much said the same exact thing. It was like we both just spit out the same thing about the award and how, it's kind of hypocritical of the Grammys to give that particular award, name that award after Dr. Dre, knowing his history. And it's going to be nice to see one female or what female would have the courage enough to boycott it if they try to nominate them for that particular award. It's going to be very, real interesting. But I know the question was about, and I say that to say I still kind of like Dre other than that one issue with Dre. I'm going to be honest. Even though I'm a Suge guy, I was around Death Row only because of Suge. But I still have always kind of liked Dre, just the way he moved because he didn't like the drama and all of that. I was drama free back when I was 27, 28, 30 years old, if you believe that. And I didn't get stupid until, I guess, after COVID. I was stupid a little bit before COVID. But that's when I got stupid and started liking drama in my life. Say all that just to say that, hey, man, this is marketing. It's smart. Dre and Snoop, they have a weird relationship. They never can do anything long. It never pans out between those two. So they can make some money off that. They will never get an album done. Y'all remember that tour that was supposed to have been happening at the Hollywood Bowl? And then they came up with that crazy excuse about the Writers Guild of all things with some music, okay. So they canceled the one in the show that was supposed to happen in June and July because they said because of the strike, and then postponed it until Snoop's birthday. Remember when I talked about that? It was supposed to have been postponed till October, whatever his birthday is, the 19th, 17th, whatever it was. I was like, I told y'all then, that show is going to never happen between those two. Dre got too much money. He don't need it. I'm telling y'all, there's something going on between Dre and Snoop to where they be cool for a minute, but then they not cool. Man, those two right there, they don't need the money. But just think if they want to go on tour right now, how many of y'all be going and watching that tour? They can't work together. Their entourages are different. You got wannabe gangsters with homosexuals, and they just don't get along. They just don't get along. Different types, and that'd be like the R. Kelly and the Jay-Z tour. You remember when they got on that tour, they started fighting. It just will never happen. And so y'all don't keep y'all hopes up for no Gin and Juice and no albums by those senior citizens. It's not going to happen. It would be nice. I would love it. I'll be sitting first, in the first because those are the era, those are the songs that I grew up on. I would be there. I would be on the front row at one of their concerts. But like I tell y'all, it won't happen. Great advertisement. Good luck with that. They probably can do a 1-day shoot, 2-day shoot, and all of that. But as far as y'all thinking an album coming out between those two, won't happen. Won't go down. It ain't gonna happen. And like I said, y'all done seen how many times they done talked about doing a show. Did it happen? What happened? Why didn't it happen? But anyway, yeah. But shout out to Suge for once again being on the same page as Reggie Wright and catching that about what we call it? I forgot what we call it. We said we were going to start calling it the Ike Turner Award or something like that. We had a name for it back then.
Yeah, I think it was Ike Turner.
The Ike Turner Award, yeah. But, yeah. Peace.
Okay. Napoleon is doing an interview over at Art. I wanted to see if you saw the segments and if you had any thoughts. In particular, I know Art asked him about kind of the monthly advance amount and if Tupac was ever unhappy with his pay situation there, and Napoleon responded. But I wanted to see if you had any thoughts in general on any of the segments that Napoleon has done over there recently.
Man, I tell y'all, I love listening. Listening to Napoleon do interviews is like listening to Reggie Wright, in my opinion. When I hear it, I'll be like, didn't I say that? I'm not saying he's listening to me and repeating things. It's just because we both are speaking the same truth. I'll be like, didn't I say that? Ain't that what I said? I love listening to Napoleon's interviews. Danny Boy when he's not mad. I love listening to Danny Boy, but Danny sometimes gets mad and he'll tell you, okay, fuck with me. And so, but yeah, I've been catching them. Appreciate them. They good. I think Art did a good job of getting questions from someone that has done a lot of the interviews, because we were considering doing it. But I was like, John, I can't think of no questions to ask Moo. And so Art did a good job of researching, doing some research, and got some questions out there. I wouldn't say new, but made a good segment out of it and did a great job. The bad rap and the things that people get, I want to try to clear up for those that do listen to us that still go back and forth between the two channels, is, people seem to think that the cars and the stuff was in Suge's name. They wasn't in Suge's name, they were in Death Row names, because Death Row had the credit. People would, creditors would mind doing leases in the name of Death Row, or doing, leasing homes into Death Row name and stuff like that, because they knew they were easily to sue or to fine, versus an artist, a young 23, 24-year-old guy that didn't give a fuck about their credit because they had cash. And so they generally didn't care about their credit because they had a lot of judgments. Y'all forget the amount of lawsuits that Tupac had that had to get settled prior to his death and stuff like that. And so that's why a lot of things couldn't be put in his name, and why a lot of things was in the company's name. But as Mutal said, he saw the difference. He experienced the difference. The salary, I hate that it gets out like it was only $10,000 a month. No, Pac was picking up $10,000 to $20,000 a week every Friday. He had a cash where they would go to the office and someone would pick up the cash. For those of y'all that don't believe me, y'all can hear some interviews done by Frank and I believe what's the young Kendrick and all of them, where they talked about how they used to go up to the office to pick up cash for Tupac and bring it to him on the set. So those was weekly. That was a weekly thing. Plus everything was being paid for. But the one thing that Mutal bring up to you that he was wrong, he said it didn't take a year. It takes a year to get your money. Well, it generally takes a year because that's about the time when artists get recouped. But No, accounting is done before a year. It's 180 days within most contracts where you're supposed to have accounting sent to you. But trust me, y'all, trust me. The numbers that y'all think that an artist make, even if Tupac was making $1 a record, let's say $1.50, $2 since it was a double CD, that's $10 million, let's say. The studio time, the videos, the music videos, y'all know he done, I think John counted 6 videos prior to his death, maybe nine or 6 videos. The automobiles, the advancements and stuff like that, he was not in a recoup status of yet. It's funny to me how y'all always blaming Death Row for Tupac's financial situations, but never ask about the monies from Interscope and all of those albums that he did on Interscope and all the money that he had, or what did he do with the monies for the movies that he did and all of that on the royalties. It's funny that Suge gets the bad rap for those things, and y'all don't lay the blame on the white boys, meaning Interscope. But then the next breath, y'all over there jumping up and down with the Gap Tooth saying that that he wasn't signed. He wasn't even signed to Death Row. That's the only problem that I have. It's the only problem that I have with other channels where they allow things that they allow one guest to say one thing and then they allow another guest to say another thing without correcting them. Because then the information get out, and then if you miss that particular video, then you start believing that that's factual. Because there's a lot of inconsistencies that's going on where it has been put out over there on that bigger channel, and then a guest like Mutao or Danny Boy will come over there and pretty much say the same thing that Reggie Wright be saying over here, and then it goes through one ear and out through the other. That's why I got to employ Suge Knight to address these things. So maybe y'all hear it from Suge, and then y'all believe it. And then those of y'all that don't, y'all gonna believe what y'all want anyway. Once again, shout out to Mutao, Napoleon. In my opinion, he does the best interviews as far as things with Tupac concerned. I'll be honest. He does a great job. I don't listen to anyone or hear anyone that does them better, other than I would love to hear Suge address things, even the relationship with Billy Gordon. I'm sure Pac done told him things and how he feel about Billy. And man, it's a lot of things that Suge couldn't address that we can break down. And hopefully that the words get to them and they decide to analyze those things and put those things out. So these misconceptions that's out there about Suge and how bad of a dude he was as far as the money things can get cleared up. Because there's many bad things and things that he has done. I tell y'all, when it comes to that money and stuff like that, he's not the man that y'all think he was. He was very generous when it comes to giving up money. By evidence, if you really listen to Napoleon or Mutao's interviews. That's what I get from it. Because the one thing he said was, I observed how he was living when he was on Interscope. And it was a big difference when he was on Death Row. Yeah.
Okay. One thing Suge did talk about in his podcast that I wanted to get your thoughts on and ask you if he had ever told you the story before he talked about it on his podcast, which was he talked about Chilli from TLC and saying that she had a particular STD. Did he ever talk to you about Chilli? And if so, did he ever talk about that? Or are there any other stories they talk to you about with when it comes to Chilli from TLC?
Well, when I go through my anger, being emotional, y'all done heard what I said about Suge. For those that y'all don't know, I'm not gonna repeat it. I said I'll never repeat it again. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Now y'all be like, well, if that's the case, well, we know it was a three-rate a circle going around, right? Y'all had Dallas Austin and Chilli. Y'all had Usher and Chilli. Y'all done heard the rumors about Usher and what he allegedly has. Y'all done heard Suge messing around with Lisa Lefteye, who we talked about in that segment. Y'all done heard Tupac messing around with Lisa Lefteye. It was just a big old circle, huh? A big old circle. Y'all done heard Dr. Simbi or whatever say what Lisa Lefteye had, how they met, and why they met. Y'all ain't heard it. Y'all ain't gonna hear from me. Y'all go research it. And so, apparently everybody had this, right? Suge had a relationship with Chilli. I know that. I've seen it. I done told y'all stories back on those 4 or 5 hour live streams. I'll tell y'all how she used to walk around eating baby food. Remember, she didn't eat food. Y'all remember? Told y'all she was so crazy. She only ate baby food because she worried about her weight so much. Those type of females was in there. No, y'all don't like the smaller, thinner females as much as y'all do as we did in the 90s. Now we want something with a little substance, a little bit more meat on them now. So she was a hot commodity back in the 90s. More so than Lefteye and T-Boss. So, of course, she going to get around. That story is, I'm surprised because Suge has always had a lot of respect for Chilli. And so I'm surprised Suge put that particular thing out about her. But that's why I goes and say, where everybody want to be jumping on me and be like, oh, he done mature. I read the comments in y'all other episodes. He's mature. He don't want to talk about anything negative. But I tell y'all, he goes both ways. He gonna throw his jabs in. What made him attack or put that out there about Chilli? I know he was mainly talking about Whitney and put it that Whitney said it. I don't know. Don't know his motive for that. But it's unfortunate because I know, I have always known he had nothing but high regards for Chilli and Lefteye. I think it comes from his relationship later with Lefteye, and Lefteye having a lot of disdain for the members of the group at the time of her death. She wasn't as happy with them, and that's why she was over there. And she was managing her and trying to get paperwork right with L.A. Reid and Steve Stouts. And so that might have been why he made those statements, riding for Lefteye, because Nina is somebody that he loved and had a lot of relationship for in the mid 2000s. Or right before her death. So I think that's where that's coming from. For those of y'all that's wondering why he said that or made those statements, why he tapped at Ray J and the Whitney situation, which we all know. Everybody that was around know what was going on between Ray J and Whitney. I don't know what made him decide to put that out about Ray J, but that's why the bipolarness of him come out. Well, y'all want to put him on and say, oh, he's on the positive tip, he's on this tip. Tell y'all, he still throws jabs, and I catch him. Y'all caught him. Y'all just don't want to acknowledge him because y'all don't want to type too much. Y'all just want to type, oh, great podcast, great thing, love your positivity. But if y'all keep it real, y'all should be typing. Why you say that, homie? Where you going? Is this bipolar? One minute he's saying this, next minute he's saying that. If I'm keeping it real, that's what I got from those statements. And that's what I picked up on. Don't know. Like I said, in the mid-90s, when Chilli and them were around, he had a lot of respect for her. But I think he did that being loyal to Lisa because of whatever they were going through at the time. And or because Dave Mays don't like TLC, and he let that come out because he picking and choosing, in my opinion, the things that he touching on and the things that he won't touch on. Because I know how Suge feel about Snoop and Harry-O. And he sure don't touch on that like he should, in my opinion. And on those things that went down with Puffy and all of them, they making that all seem like, you know. The other thing that I forgot to mention in the previous episode that he needs to clear up, he needs to see why that rumor about Pac still floating around, and he won't address that about what happened in the prison and why John Singleton wanted to put that in the movie. I'm telling you, Suge, there's a lot of stuff that people want to hear from you, dog, that you can clear up. Clear up stuff like that, man. Yep.
Did you catch the part in the podcast where Suge talked about that he never had security with him? I know you were around him a lot. I know you weren't his actual security, but is that true that he never had security with him?
Yeah, the guys that were considered his security, yeah, I would give him that. He would, and Suge would be out alone, 35% of his life, when he's out in public. But he had his homeboys, he had homeboys with him, like a Buntry or something like that. But there'd been a lot of times Suge was rolling by himself, because usually he was just going from one chick house to another chick house, to be honest, if I'm keeping it real. And a couple of the chicks he didn't want us to know that he was messing with. And they had an apartment right around the corner from the studio that they didn't want nobody to know. So, yeah, and you gotta keep where you laying your head at, where you're in a vulnerable position. You gotta keep it secret. So that's where he rolled a lot by himself. But a security guard, I always told you, I'd never tell you, y'all don't want to call me you, this is bodyguard. I told you, I was never Suge Knight's security or bodyguard. Suge Knight was bigger, stronger, and faster, and everything better than me. So I couldn't have been his bodyguard. But I was around him, though, because of probably just because, if I'm keeping it real, because I had a legal gun. And so that's why I was with him in a lot of the situations. But I was not there to be his security. Or I was there to get him out of situations, or somebody that he would respect to be like, oh, no, don't slap him right here. Let him slap him. No, you come here. Or he didn't slap him, he slapped him. Is generally why I was with Suge. So no, I would give Suge that. Suge didn't have a security guard. I keep telling y'all, I was there mainly was the person's call. They trying to get a hold to him and be like, hey, Reg, where's Suge at? What are you doing? Or Suge, so-and-so trying to meet with you. Or y'all need to be at this time. Or y'all need to get on the plane and get on the plane there. Or y'all need to check in at this hotel and be there. All of that information would come to me, and then I would go and make it happen. And now we're going to the Essence house. Where the limo at, Reg? Where the car service is at? They on their way or whatever. And so, yeah. But he did always have a crew, meaning a homeboy or two with him wherever he went, which was smart. He should have. He better. But he always had his jury on. He ain't never been one to tuck anything or anything like that. And Suge, Just like I heard him say in this podcast about the football players and all of that. Y'all always, and game members now, James and them want to make him like he was a buster until, or whatever, growing up and all that. I always told y'all, Suge and his cousins, round one down on them, they will terrorize, especially at Linwood High, which was a softer school than the Compton Unified School Districts. Yes, they were. But they terrorized that school, and nobody messed with them. And I remember some situations where they had to go up to Banny and got in some trouble acting a fool. He'll know what I'm talking about on that. But, and him and his cousin Donald. And so, yeah, Suge has never been a buster. He talked about it, like I said, with his football player on his football team. He was like, hey, he was the one that leading the pack or the crazy one. That's the Suge I've always known. And so I'll never let anybody sit up here and say, like, Suge was just because he had all those dudes with him and all of that, he was like that. If he was that scary, if his heart was really that way, he wouldn't have took his ass up there to why he's sitting in the penitentiary right now by himself. So that show you the mentality. I'm not saying it was smart, dumb move, but we can all sit back and Monday back quarterback things that we did. I wish he would have had. I know he was over there looking for CJ. I put it out, his big homie, CJ, to ride and go back over there with him. But CJ wasn't there. And once he got the call, he was waiting and CJ wasn't there. And so he decided to go up there by himself. I wish like hell CJ was sitting in that passenger seat with him, because that Bone wouldn't have did that coward and ran up on him like that. And couldn't wait until he got out of the car. Because Suge would have got out of the car. I don't care how many of those was around there. Even though it was a plot, I know it was a plan. I know all of the West Side that was involved had something to do with it. They knew what was about to go down. I'm not going to say they would have intervened, but they knew what was going down. Believe that with my whole heart now after hearing all the conversations and hearing everything about it. But if CJ was with him, I don't think Bone would have did that, because he would have known that he would have had to do the fade right. And so, unfortunate. I know I'm tapping into territories that I won't get phone calls behind, but hey, call a ball, a strike, a mother strike. If you don't like it, oh well. But that is what happened with that situation. And so I'll never, ever let somebody say that Suge was a buster like that, because he wasn't. From a football player to the game banging to the music industry and all of that, he who he was. He who he was. And might have not placed in situations. That's why I get so mad when when BJ tell that story about, over there in the Nickerson Gardens. Because, yeah, Nickerson Garden dudes is a tough housing projects. But if they were that scared and they wasn't right, they wouldn't have went. And he had 5 with him that I know from the mob or Ludus area or the East Side Paru area. It wouldn't have went like they think. It wouldn't have went. It would have been a massacre over there, no projects, if the shit would have went down the way they trying to portray. It would have went down if he wouldn't have balled down. But situations like that is what, man, I got to stop inserting myself in, because Suge is able to talk now. And he need to clear up and get that out there. Talk about that. Need to talk about it. But yeah, to answer your question, I think I did. Hope I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I wanted to ask, because I saw a Facebook post from the author Kathy Scott, who did a book on Tupac, and I had no idea about this, but apparently she did a book on Biggie's murder as well. but she told a story where I believe she said recently Suge reached out and wanted her to visit him in jail, and that she declined. Did you see that Facebook post from her?
Yeah, I think that's Kathy doing that for her editors or whatever, or people to write that she put that out, or for whoever in her little circle that reads her Facebook. So Suge wouldn't know who. Suge, the only writer that Suge probably know who is Chuck Phillips, and that's just because of the relationship we had with him during all the times, with the LA Times and stuff like that at that time. Suge don't know who no Kathy Scott is. Now, not saying that his representatives don't know who he is or know who she is, that maybe have reached out to her. But like I keep telling them, those are people that don't know, that don't know the real history of all of these journalists and stuff like that. Yeah, well, that's why he got on the phone with fucking JMX and fucking Michael Carlin, because he didn't know who the fuck they were, didn't know their history, didn't know that they were crackpots, people that didn't know their left foot from their right foot, you know, and so that's why he gets involved with people like that, because these people be thinking they know and stuff, and they don't know all of the idiots that's running around out here trying to insert themselves in the investigation. You know, there's a dude out there right now that's writing a big book on Tupac by the name of Jeff Pearlman. People like that maybe I would like to see him talk to. The guy that wrote a book on Bo Jackson and a book on the winning times about the Lakers and stuff like that, that I think would be good for him to talk to. But Kathy Scott is not nobody. She thinks Puffy is a choir boy. Kathy Scott is a nice lady. She started fucking Frank Alexander, so you know what her loyalty and her thinking already is. Kathy, I like. Kathy has been respectful to us and stuff like that, but she is not the type of person or the journalist that needs to be doing anything on a Suge Knight, because they're gonna have different of opinions, and just like she was doing stuff on Freeway Rick, that didn't work out. When Freeway Rick first came out, she's not the journalist for Suge. Somebody probably Dave Mays or somebody probably heard about her and recommended her to him, but for Suge to reach out to her, I don't believe. I don't believe, and if that's the person that somebody recommended to you and you want to do it, that's why you shouldn't be listening to those people. Because you see what she posted on Facebook. Hopefully y'all read this. And sure, I would have told you from the jump that ain't the lady for you. She's not pro death row or you or your situation. And that's somebody that you shouldn't be wanting to write a book or do something on you if that was your intent. Hey, but keep listening to people that don't know this shit. Keep doing it, dog. That's on you, dog. I'm good. My life is good. I'm trying to get back healthy, get back right. I couldn't do this a year ago, so I'm getting back right. And you do you. I'm good. I'm gonna be good. I'm living my life. Look at my shit. I'm living good. So you can't change my life no way. All I can do is help you, bro. Help you help people that's trying to help you. But stay in your lane. I'll stay in my lane. Get disrespectful. You know how I'm trained. But hopefully it won't go there.